everyone, how are we all doing? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to my channel and to an exciting video, as you can tell by the title. Look who I've got.
That's why it's exciting.
Good on you.
I'm here.
As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking more about moving house, what's kind of happening, where we are with it in terms of an update, and yeah, just to give you all a bit of a bit more of an inkling as to where we are in terms of how close we are away from purchasing our first home. Oh, it doesn't get any easier when you say it out loud. If you aren't aware, if you're a new subscriber or if you're just new and you clicked on this video and wondered what it's about, myself and Zara are purchasing a house together. We said, yeah, fingers crossed actually, I keep on saying this, we are hoping and praying to the property gods that we can manage to somehow buy a property together. We filmed the video this time 6 months ago actually, which is crazy.
It feels like yesterday.
It does feel like yesterday. We had a bit of a chat and we thought, you know what, we're gonna buy a house together, why not? So we sat down and filmed the video. I'll link that up in that top corner and also down below. But we basically announced that we're gonna be leaving London and we are gonna be buying a house. And since then we've talked about budgets, what we're doing to save for a house, things that we're trying to like cut back on, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna get into the video. But the answer to the question is yes, we are still very much leaving London. And it's
I feel like there's not a day that goes by where we don't talk about it, or we're just very, very, very excited.
It's crazy to think that it's soon. So when we're filming this, it's obviously January 2021. So we're on a 12-month countdown that we are hoping by January 2022. Gosh, my years are all over. I still feel like I'm in last year, do you?
Yeah, it doesn't, because I keep saying like last year.
Last year, next year.
Oh, yeah. It's so confusing.
Basically, we're hoping by this time next year, we'll have saved enough money to cover our deposit, which I've spoke about in a previous video, and also saved enough money for legal fees, so things like stamp duty, solicitor fees, a mortgage broker, and just essential general expenses of buying a house.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of idea that we have in mind. And obviously this time last year we said that we were going to embark on our savings journey. Now obviously we are still in very much a pandemic, and unfortunately that has meant that we are now in a lockdown for the third time in the UK, which
it's such a hard thing to say, but I know a lot of people are in this position, that if you're fortunate enough to still be within your job and if you're fortunate to still have your job and you've still got a salary that's able to keep you in a good place, for people that are saving, this is a good time. There's no it's a hard thing to say.
It's really hard. Yeah, this is exactly what I think we've spoke about this, because I think talking about this topic, for a lot of people I know that their plans might not have gone ahead for whatever reason. If you've been furloughed, if you've been made redundant, if your income has dramatically changed throughout this whole pandemic, it's been hard. It's been so hard, and we've both felt the strain of it. I mean, obviously we're both still employed, but our jobs have maybe got a bit more busy because we picked up other people's work, or things have just been like a roller coaster. Last year was
testing.
It was so testing, beyond doubt. But
I don't think anybody was not touched financially by COVID at all. Yeah,
100%. And I know a lot of people on YouTube who have been watching plan to buy last year and it just didn't work out for them for whatever reason. Obviously we do find ourselves in a little lockdown, which what I mean by that is that we don't have any temptations such as like restaurants, bars. Like a new restaurant opened up down the road from us, and we were like, we really want to go there and we really want to try it out, and we would have ended up spending like 50, 60 pounds on like a lovely dinner, which is obviously part of living. But when you're trying to save for a house, all of those things kind of have to be stripped back. So, and
I think as well for us, those are the things that we enjoy. Like we're more likely to go out for a nice meal than we are to go and get a new coat. So I think having that, because we can still shop online, we're just choosing not to.
That's oh sorry, that's what I was going to come on to in this video, that we've kind of made ourselves each other's accountability partner, in the sense that we're embarking on a very, very strict spending ban for January. Last year you did no by January.
Yeah.
And it went...
That's mainly because I'll be completely honest, I had barely any money.
Yeah, last
year. So
I
did have to literally do a no buy.
A no buy. And similar for me, I'm on a low buy January. Obviously I have bought things throughout the month like a tumble dryer. But their household purchases, I am very much limiting my spending. Only things that will encourage this this whole YouTube thing. So yeah, it's interesting, and we are very much still on target to have our savings goal achieved by the end of this year, which is hopefully, fingers crossed, if nothing changes, which I really hope it doesn't in terms of both of our finances, but for the time being,
it's okay.
We're doing all right.
I think another thing worth mentioning as well, because I had a girl message me, I think I told you, about saving and like how do you do it, and we're by no means pros. Like I've had months where I plan to save a figure and can only save half or whatever, but even like Christmas, like I know that was a big topic of people being like, are you saving? The truth was I tried to, and then was like, actually, like it is Christmas, and I'd rather wait an extra month for the house and still let my family have Christmas, especially last year being the year it was. So I think like people can just still be aware that like you don't have to be that accountable of your own savings that you can't live at all. Like still give yourself some wiggle room. I think that's what I would say.
I said that as absolutely in the video as well. I talked about our finances, and I'm not going to go into like how much deposit we need and stuff. I've spoke about that in a previous video, but I think there's a difference between no buy and low buy, and you obviously still have to live. We're young, we're 23, we live in London, albeit in a lockdown. We still want to like enjoy our lives, and we don't want to completely, I mean, I'm aware saving for a house means you pretty much got to strip as much back, and we even when lockdown is lifted, we're going to be very much still eating from home, or we're limiting our spending, we're not buying anything new at all for the house. Like we are very much now, this is serious, and if we want to do this, we need to get our asses in the gear, and we are. And it's very exciting because with any luck, we had a coffee last weekend and we were sat and we just having a chat, and we said, with any luck, this time next year, we'll have got our mortgage in principle, so our loan in principle, which basically means you go to a bank and say, hi, this is how much we earn. Then they go, okay, great, this is how much we're willing to give you, which is then what you show to your estate agents to view properties. That's going to be happening this time next year.
That's the thing. And it won't be discussions of like, what should we do on the weekend? It'll be like, so
we're
going to view another 3.
Off to view some properties. So it's really exciting. So I just thought I'd give you this bit of an update, so that yes, we are still leaving London, and you know what, I've came to terms with it a lot more now that I don't feel sad about it at all. I really don't. We've been here in September, we'll have been here 5 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Half a decade in London.
And there was this like, what's it called? This study that came out the other day that the population of London is due to drop to the lowest point since 1980, because I think everybody's had the same thing. Like what people want in houses, like people want to be in the countryside, people want to be, there's sometimes more to life than just a city. And I think that's the realization that we've come to, and maybe come to terms with, that we wanted London to have something new and something fun, and like, wow, it's busy, but when it comes down to it, I just want to sleep in silence. I don't want
sirens.
I don't want to hear it anymore. I think it's just, we know what we need and what we can get out of life elsewhere.
And I think had we maybe moved to London 10 years ago and been in this position, maybe we would have bought something, but the property market in London is just mad. And for what we want that little bit more space. We want a garden, we want to be able to get a dog. So all those kind of things are really tricky to do in London on the budget that we're looking at. So
I'm just laughing because it's reminding me of that thing when it's like, work for the garden your dog deserves, and my dog deserves more than the fire escape.
Like it's just not feasible to have a giant golden retriever running around a 1-bedroom flat. It just wouldn't work. So yeah, that's the plan, and that's kind of like where we're at, and we're excited. I think that's the most important thing. There isn't a day go by that we don't search on Rightmove for properties. Also, just a quick one as well about saving. I have spoke about this prior to this video. I'll link again that down below about how I strategize my savings, but myself and Zara obviously are on different incomes, so we're putting away effectively what we can in relation to our income. I think that's a super important thing if you're buying with a friend, a partner, whoever. If you're buying on your own, save what is manageable, but then also realize that sometimes your idea of manageable might be completely different to someone else's. So someone might be able to say, I've saved £30,000 in 3 years, and you're like, how have I not managed to do that? But everyone's saving goal is different. We both bank with NatWest, and on the app obviously you can set up savings goals and targets, which are brilliant. And the thing that really helps, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can print off something that you are saving for, whether that be a house, a holiday, a car, whatever, and stick it somewhere so you can visually see it. So every time you're tempted to go and grab your wallet and buy something online, look at that picture and maybe realize why you're doing it.
For us, it's every time I put the key in the door and realise I don't own the key or the door,
and it gets jammed,
or the property.
You're like,
and that's my reminder.
Yeah, it is. It's something we're really looking forward to, and hopefully this time in a year, if you guys are still with us, I mean, that sounds like you're gonna, pass on, but I mean, as in like if you're still watching, then hopefully you'll be seeing us having some very happy, emotional tears.
I just want to say, I think there's going to be tears first, because it's not going to go smoothly, because it's us. There's going to be
nothing in our lives.
More than one disaster.
Nothing in our lives has ever gone smoothly. It's always a little hiccup, but that's life. That's just how it is, and we're not silly to think that there's going to be some bumps, but that's expected. It's just as long as we get to our end goal of securing a property and starting our essential process of renovating a property, which is what we really want to do. So yeah, I'm probably going to maybe film this in, say, 6 months time when we're at a half a year. Like, we've literally got 6 months. This is insane. And we'll go more into detail maybe about like properties that we want to buy and that kind of thing. But for the current moment, I thought I'd give you an update from both of us that we are still very much leaving London, and yeah, the countdown is on, T-1 year.
I feel kind of clammy.
Yeah,
that's really gross, but I feel clammy.
It happens every time. It's crazy because we were like, oh, maybe like in, you know, January 2022, and then now we're like, it's January 2021, and we literally are, the time is coming.
And I think also in terms of location as well, like, this isn't something that we woke up overnight and decided that, yeah, I don't like London anymore. It wasn't like something happened and we were like, that's it.
It's gradual.
We've been to different areas to know that that's definitely our move.
That's where we want to go. And also, like, the thing is, a lot of people say that if you're bored of London, you're bored of life, and that's absolutely not the case. We still very much love London, but as we've said, we're in a 2-bed flat in southwest London. It's gorgeous. We absolutely are not saying that we don't love where we live, but that I feel like for us and what we want out of our lives, we want something a little bit more that's offering us in terms of, like Zara said, countryside, greenery, the chance to do some walks, opposed to getting caught up in an anti-lockdown protest on the weekend, which was an experience. So yeah, we want to be able to leave our flat, feel comfortable, feel safe, and also just have a bit of greenery and fill our lungs with something other than London's soot. Tell you what, it's the first thing you notice when you move to London. Blow your nose. It'll be interesting.
Someone told me that once.
Did you do it?
No, do you know what? When I lived in halls, because my halls were in zone 3,
yeah,
so I didn't have it.
Yeah.
But then I moved to Brixton, and dear Lord, I don't know what hit. Yeah. I was like, I'm dying. I
was come from Durham, which is Kent Durham, northeast. I was from Plymouth, which is southwest. I moved to zone 1, which is in central London, and my goodness, it's congestion here. But yeah, it's just part and parcel of city living. And of course, please don't take this video as a way that we're saying that you can't move to a city, don't move to a city,
or preaching that you need to buy, because buying isn't for everybody. And I think that's a misconception online at the moment as well. Like, as much as we are in the market to buy, I am quite the TikToker. I love it. Yeah. But I feel like every other video is someone, maybe it's what I'm searching, but preaching about their buying and their renovating. And that's yes, what we want to do. For you could well be watching and completely that not be your vibe. Some people are really put off buying and don't want to be tied to one place. I want to have the flexibility and not be, you know, liable for the boiler. Like, that's also fine. I think don't be like submerged by online pressures to buy, because you really don't need to.
And we're not vilifying London as well at all by any means. You know, it's this city has given us so much. Like, a lot of people move to London to kind of grow your career. We both studied here.
It's given us our careers.
Yeah, we both studied here for 3 years. We graduated with Bachelor of Arts Honours in Journalism. We've established a career now, and we're working towards our goals. So it's kind of like, it's given us everything and more, and I'm so grateful to it. But it's time to depart. And these months will fly by. I know I'll watch this video back. It's crazy because I watched the previous video back and I was like, how was that how was that half a year ago? And again, we're literally going to click and guaranteed I'll watch this back and I'm like, wow. Future Luke, praise yourself for your success of saving, hopefully. And don't be like, I wish I tried harder.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, one last quick thing to mention as well, Zara's kind of done a disclaimer. I know these types of videos are really, can be really triggering for a lot of people in terms of, like, maybe you have had something really looking forward to, like a house, and for whatever reason it's fallen through, if it's financial or whatever reason. Your age as well, I just said to Zara, we're both 23, and I know we're doing this at a really young age. Some people don't get on the property ladder for years, you know, until your 30s, 40s. Again, if you've rented, that's absolutely fine. Please just take these videos as kind of like a life update. We're not at all trying to preach that this is what you've got to do, because we're just doing it and it's hopefully going to make us really happy. Imagine if we move and hate it.
And not just that, but like, you share your life, our life. This happens to be the next step, and it would almost be strange if you weren't to share that, and instead just be like, hey, so I'm in my new house.
Yeah,
like, it's just
no.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's around the corner, and obviously, like I say, hopefully, fingers crossed that we will be in a very different position this time next year. But yeah, here's to hope. And again, thank you so much for all of your love and comments. I'm preempting some lovely things coming this year, so fingers crossed for that. Good luck to anyone out there as well who is starting their savings journey, or if you're already like us and you're mid-saving, good luck, hang in there. Remember your priorities, stick to it, be strong, don't buy that coat, don't do that spa brick. And your first goal that you set yourself is the hardest. Yeah, 100%. Genuinely. Yeah. I remember last year, no, not last year, the year before, I was this when we were in halls. Yeah. Students, I tried to save £500 all summer, and it was the hardest thing ever. When I got there, it was it's kind of like we read this online. Your first goal is the hardest to reach, but then when you reach it, it becomes addictive, and then you can't stop. We've both found that now, that the more our savings grow through living frugally and living smartly, it becomes like you want to do it more. So yeah, hang on in there. Stick it out, you've got this. Positive thoughts, always willing to chat in the comments as well. Any tips or tricks I can share. Like I say, I'll share the 2 videos that I filmed previously as well down below, which I talk about budget and how I save. But yeah, I hope you found that useful. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Always a pleasure. And yeah, I'll catch you all hopefully not too much in the distant future, when we might be talking more about property that we're going to want to buy. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you could give the video a thumbs up, don't forget to click subscribe down below to follow us along on the journey. And I'll catch you all very soon. Bye for now.